am literally mortified. John, I'm gonna have to disagree. Hi you guys, my name is Stella Williams and I'm and Birkin Williams, come on. And Birkin Williams. Birkin just had a birthday, she's 3 now, say happy birthday. Okay, bye. Birkin's probably actually gonna hang out with me today because I was just at church and she is obsessed with me. Today I am literally mortified. Oh my gosh, if you guys don't know John from ObesetoBeast, he like sometimes reacts to me in my weight loss videos whenever I make them, and it's pretty cool. Like, relationship was rocky at start, but no, we're really cool. But this is why I'm mortified. So the other day I was at my friend's house and I was looking up my Judge Maybelline court show thing I was on, and cause I don't even know how that got brought up, but it did. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was on a court show, like let me show you it. So I go look up my name and I see this video. It was like posted 8 days ago from ObesetoBeast, and it was him reacting to my video. I was so mortified because the day before that I did an interview with him and I had no idea he put this video out. And I'm also mortified because the video was very specifically for women consumption only. I'm mortified, one, because I did an interview with someone and I had no idea. Like, I was so oblivious to the fact that they just reacted to something I did. So what I thought was just, I mean, it's John and I are cool, but it's like, you don't know what this person said. And I was like, la-di-da, let's do an interview for an hour and a half that's about to drop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, just imagine, I mean, this is not John's character, but just imagine in the video if he was like, this is the worst example of weight loss, and then I'm oblivious and clueless and like, oh, I did an interview with John. Like, I just had no idea because I don't look myself up like that. But I figured, you know, I got my fall drinks. So we got a Premier Protein Shake and an Izzy Nutrition. And we're going to just watch it together and react to it because like this video was not, it dealt with a lot of women reproductive system things. Like, I just don't know why he responded to this. And also we do have a really juicy interview coming up where like I spilled a lot of like tea. And I was so excited for that. I didn't even realize this happened. So we're gonna watch it together. I'm gonna try not to do too much commentary unless I feel it necessary. But when I saw this, I literally like stopped in my tracks. And my friend was like, what's wrong? I was like, I just did an interview with this man and had no idea. So anywho, so the title is Stella Williams is Gaining Weight, because I did a video a couple weeks ago about my weight gain I went through over the summer. So yeah, and I would also like to know, I am 17, wait, let me not lie. I always say let me not lie because in my head I like do quick math and I'm like, girl, do the actual math. I'm 13 pounds down from the end of August, from August 23rd. So I'm very happy. All right, next. God, give me strength. Okay, let's go.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm very excited about the video today. We're going to be talking about someone that I actually like genuinely enjoy their videos.
Okay, I can breathe now. I was like, I didn't even, oh, okay. Hey, John. Oh my gosh. Hi, Birkin says hi too.
And the stuff they're putting out right now, I think it's very interesting. Before we get into that, if you see all these lovely people here on the side of the screen, I record these videos on Twitch pretty much every single weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have a lot of fun on the streams. I don't know about them. They can tell you if they have a fun time here, but I really enjoy it. So if you're ever bored around those times and you want to come join us live, we would love to have you. But today we are going to be talking about Stella Williams. We have made quite a few videos talking about Stella and her journey. So she was someone that, you know, she ended up getting a weight loss surgery, and she's kind of been documenting her journey there on out. And she was...
What makes this so much worse is that the streamers are like here, so it's like not only am I watching him, but now we're like reading comments. It's like, okay.
Very nervous when she first announced that she was going to be getting weight loss surgery. And in this video, she is kind of talking about some of the maybe like misconceptions she had and things that maybe she didn't realize that was going to go on when she ended up getting this weight loss surgery. So the title of the video is Weight Gain Sucks. She uploaded this video a few weeks ago, and I just kind of wanted to go over it and share my thoughts on it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so before we actually watch it together, This video again was not meant for you, John. This video was not meant for ObesetoBeast. I'm like cringing right now. This video was meant for the girlies. It was meant to not be reacted to. I have like a little rant in the beginning because I was like, no, there's no way you're going to react to this video. I was so certain. I was like, there's no way this video is going to be reacted to. So I film it differently. Like if there's updates I feel like people could react to, I try to make them short and sweet. I do a lot of jump cuts. I format it so if you're watching it and you're gonna review it, it's easier to follow. This one was literally like a diary to my followers. Okay, let me stop talking.
Alrighty.
So I was in denial for like 3 months until June. This is just a little weight loss update I wanted to give you guys because I don't see these things being talked about, mainly because people are trying to like protect themselves in the plus community or protect themselves in the body positive community. Like it's not like something that happens overnight. It doesn't happen just for 1 year post-op. It continues.
I think that's really interesting that she brought that up because that is something that I've noticed is like there will be a lot of these people that will make videos like this where they kind of talk about how I want to lose weight and then maybe they get some backlash and then maybe they kind of pull back from even talking about it anymore, but they are still losing weight or they did get a weight loss surgery, but they're like afraid to continue to talk about things or ever share any of the negatives about it because of maybe some of the backlash that they faced. I think Stella, like I genuinely like her videos. She seems like a really, really nice person. And so I think she's been doing a great job sharing this stuff. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys and share my thoughts as well, obviously.
To happen. Hi you guys, my name is Stella Williams and today I'm going to do what I do best, my little talking videos. I love to have you guys involved in my life and the ebbs and flows of it, and today I'm here to talk about my weight. I was hoping this was a weight loss update, but it's really like a follow-up, I guess, to weight loss surgery and my 1 year post-op video I did.
Sorry, I had to pause this because I'm so distracted by my swimsuit. I have these swimsuits from T that like the viral string pulling make you look great. I'm like, damn girl, this swimsuit really is a bodysuit. Anyway, I was like, let me not. I canceled the video because I was like, it's literally so cold outside. But now I'm still gonna make it because damn, it looks like shapewear. It looks great. Anyway.
If you identify as a male or you're just not interested in like girly issues, this video is definitely not for you.
John, we couldn't take a hint. Okay.
If you are,
I think the problem as a YouTuber is like you get so sucked into your community. Like you guys, I'm with you, we're here, we're on the same page. We have a relationship and I shut down sometimes and I distance myself from my channel sometimes when videos get bigger than my community. Like we know what's going on in my life. We know what's going on in the community. We have a relationship. So it just makes me like cringe. If it's literally like a public diary, but I only expect you guys to watch it.
Are a female and this weirds you out as well, this is probably not for you. But if you're interested in some of the things that have set me back in weight loss, and
I identify as John. Okay, all right, I'm here. We're here.
Issues I've had since weight loss surgery regarding like feminine natural things, then this video will be for you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I wanted to make this video firstly apologizing. So I am in therapy, I'm healing, all this fun, responsible stuff. And I firstly want to apologize to everyone for myself a little over a year ago when I decided to have surgery. I made it such a big deal. I was like, don't comment on my weight, I don't want anyone to talk about it, blah, 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 blah. I have now realized in maturity that you cannot control what people say.
Facts. It doesn't, usually, especially on the internet, if you say don't talk about this, it's just going to make people talk about it more.
You can't dictate what other people are going to do in any regard, whether I'm at like me, weight loss, or opinions. Like, you guys are allowed to have your own opinions, and I've always believed in free speech, but something now that I'm understanding is there's no line that I could ever ask you not to cross. Like, there's no line I could ever ask you not to have your own opinion, not to say something. I do believe just because I'm on the internet doesn't mean you have to say everything you're thinking, but I'm also not allowed to police you guys. So especially the people who are coming from a good place, it is my own responsibility to take what I need or to not engage in the conversation or your comments. So I do want to say I'm sorry for because that's my own insecurity, right? Like, I was so insecure about the weight loss and what was going to happen and, the journey, that I had requested that you guys not mention it, but I can't do that. So
I think it's also, again, I'm speaking for her, so if I'm wrong, sorry for mansplaining, but I think it's a lot of people that are in that position, especially like where she was, at least from what I understand, about a year ago when she got the surgery, and how she was really nervous, like the body positivity community and what they were going to say. I think a lot of people, and we've talked about this in recent videos, where people are talking about how they're going to get weight loss surgery after losing or after being part of like the body positive community, is that they have this thought of like, I'm not really going to talk about my weight loss. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm never going to bring it up. And so I don't want you to bring it up because I'm not even going to make a big deal of it.
And low-key, I did that. Low-key, I was like, oh guys, I'm not even gonna make videos about this. And then I sometimes feel restricted, because sometimes, like, one thing I really regret in March is I really, really wanted to do a weight loss update video, but I was like, girl, just wait till you're 1 year in June. Like, you don't need to make a video right now, like, because I feel what I do is so much more than my weight. Like, I do believe in self-love and a lot of these themes you guys see on my channel, and I just feel like the internet has a way of just taking away from that if you post like a weight loss surgery update or something like that. Like, people are so quick to be like, to trade one for the other, and it's just sad. It's sad more than irritating, more than annoying. It's like,
in reality, like, especially when you are deciding to get a weight loss surgery, like, this is a life-changing surgery and your whole life is going to be altered. So I'm not saying nobody could like avoid talking about it, but it's a lot to ask of yourself as someone that is getting the surgery, to get this life-altering surgery and then just not mention it to the community that you fostered for so many years. I don't think it's realistic to ask of yourself, and then on top of that, to ask of other people that have been watching you for many years and has seen your weight, even if they're not focused on it. Like, we have eyes, we're humans, we see someone that has gained weight and they've lost weight. It's hard to really, really ask someone to not mention it at all. And then it's even harder, in my opinion, to expect yourself not to talk about it, right?
And in turn, it still happened. So me asking you guys not to say anything, and it still happened, it didn't do anything. So I do want to apologize for trying to like police you guys. That's not cool. Have your own opinion. I've become very, very good, especially this year, in just acknowledging people's opinions, but not internalizing them. So starting off there. Secondly, I want to talk about actual weight loss. I mentioned this in my 1 year VSG update video. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. If you are interested in the weight loss surgery, its effectiveness, obviously, and
Queen,
just how surgery is in general. That's not really what this video is about. This video is more about like after you lose the initial weight and the weight loss. So in that video, I did mention there definitely comes a point where weight loss is back to being your responsibility. The only upper hand is I still can't consume as much food. So in saying that, I had a breakdown like this summer, because I had noticed I was really struggling with my weight, like pre-surgery weight. And this wasn't because of portions. Like, I still have a really big problem eating with my eyes. I will get like a plate of food. If you want a reference to that, look at my Jamaica vlogs. I'll get like a plate of food and I really can't eat it. So I still struggle mentally. When I log my weight, I still put 360 pounds instead of 260 or there.
I think that this is also something that a lot of people that get weight loss surgery seem to struggle with a little bit, even a little bit more. But even if you don't get the weight loss surgery, I think it's pretty normal for you to struggle with this. Is this like, it's really weird, especially if you've been overweight for a really long time, to not be that anymore.
okay, I know you have more to say, but literally, I call it body dysmorphia. I think I'm past the body dysmorphia. Maybe, I don't know. What I'm at now is like the disbelief. I don't realize that I'm 250 pounds right now. I genuinely I feel it. I see it in the mirror now. So I don't think it's body dysmorphia. I haven't internalized it. Like I literally, like I said in the video, I'll still put 350 if I'm logging my weight. It's been my life. Like literally for the last 10 years since I was a senior in high school. I remember right before my last day of senior year, I was like 299 or something. And then I went away up here to Maryland. Then I went back to Texas. And right before college, I weighed myself before I moved my stuff out of my house. And it said 320 pounds. And that was, I guess, 9 years ago because I went to college in 2013. So for 9 years, I've seen 300 on the scale. And so now when I see 254, it's like this mind game where I'm like, you're going to be back 300. You're going to be 300. That's who you are. That's who you are. And like a lot of this has to do with fighting that internalization and allowing myself to catch up to myself. So it does suck.
Not be making the decisions and the choices that you made when you were overweight. And I think the reason I see it more in people that have had weight loss surgery is because you lose weight very, very fast. Most people do, right? Because you literally cannot eat enough. Like you literally are not able to eat enough and you lose weight super quick. And so I feel like people that get the weight loss surgery struggle with this even more than people who don't, but people who don't also struggle with it. I know I did as well.
There's some stuff I'm still catching up on, but I wanted to talk about my weight this year because I realized like I'm really struggling. There's a reason, we'll talk about it, and how I got over that, how I've overcome that, not digressing back into old patterns of behavior. I had realized in my logbook that I started January at 260 and pretty much consistently since February, the lowest I got to was 250.0. I was really excited because I went into pre-op at 344, so I was like, I'm almost at 244, but I had already lost well over 100 pounds since my highest weight. My highest weight was 375.6, so I'm well over the 100-pound mark. This is where it gets girly, so hang in with me. But I was on a IUD that stopped being effective probably around January or February of this year. And in March, it was discovered that my strings were missing. I had to get surgery to remove it. It was this whole big deal. I had to go through it. It was very traumatizing. But one thing I had noticed after weight loss surgery, when I started slowing down in my weight, were two very key moments.
Bro, I'm just going to say it. Everything is harder for women. I'm just going to put it out there because I don't have to worry about an IUD or any types of strings. You know what I'm saying? Never an issue for me. Just saying.
One, when solids were reintroduced into my diet. Now, for a lot of the beginning of your weight loss, you're pretty much...
I wanted to mention that my protein shake today is not sponsored, but it's Premier, but they have pumpkin spice and it's good. Only caveat is I ordered it on Costco.com and it came to me like kind of curdled, but I've still been drinking it. I probably shouldn't. I should probably return it, but just want to let y'all know this is a winner and it's really, really good. And I should probably try to make a milkshake out of this.
On a liquid diet and you really can't hold a lot of liquid, so you're just dropping weight. You're very
So again, I want to make it clear because she doesn't really like make it super clear, but when she talks about weight loss, she is talking about weight loss with weight loss surgery. So a lot of I think it's just important.
This is so important because I got my butt chewed out. If you read the first comment of this video, I didn't delete it because I was wrong, and thank you, John, for saying this. I was wrong in my delivery because the whole video I'm referring to weight loss with weight loss surgery, but my problem as a creator is like I assumed that's what like everyone was on the same page because I got weight loss surgery. So I got my butt chewed out, but I left it there because I wrongfully spoke, and you guys had the right reaction to the way I was saying it. So even the fact that John picked this up, like that's so outside of my scope because in my head I'm like, well, duh, they know I got surgery. I don't need to keep saying with weight loss surgery, but it's really, really important to note that because of course, I'm not talking about anything in this video from the place of just losing weight in a more natural method. And on that note, I'm gonna just restart the camera. I'm gonna turn it off and turn it on. Okay, hopefully I'm in focus. So thank you, John, for picking that up. I don't know what it is. Like in my head, I didn't relate it.
She had weight loss surgery. That's just like a lot of the stuff that she's talking about is from that perspective.
Malnourished, your hair falls out, like you feel weak, you're probably going to be anemic. Like I'm not a doctor, but that's what happened to me.
And this is very true, right? And so this is why this video is not about, you know, weight loss surgery or not, but this is why I always say, like, I'm not against weight loss surgery, but it really has to be, like, I suggest that you go over every other avenue before you get the surgery.
John, I'm going to have to disagree. Maybe I should let you finish your thought and then I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Because the surgery has genuine effects, right? Like, she had to deal with these things because of the weight loss surgery. And so I am just always like, you know, make sure you look at every avenue before you go down that road, because it is a surgery. It does work, but it has consequences just like any other surgery, right?
Okay, now that his thought is done, I'm going to agree with it does have consequences that are lifelong and require a lifelong adjustment to your lifestyle. I would also like to say it's not as scary as it sounds, because there are a lot of things that happen in life that you just need to adjust your lifestyle. I will tell you something, and this is actually something I bring up in John's video, that the interview we did that's going to come out. I never had problems with my weight until 2015 when I had a miscarriage. Like, I never had problems with my weight. I was always, again, 300-something pounds. But I mean, like, problems with, like, obsessing over weight loss and wanting to lose weight. Like, those thoughts never, outside of, like, family pressures, it was never, like, something I was actively doing, not being told to do, right? And 2015, I got surgery in 2021. So that was 6 years of my life. And I can only imagine, and this is really important, because in the interview, John was like, well, I've always wanted to lose weight. Always. Like, I was like, however big he was, like, he was bigger, and he was like, I always in my heart desired to lose weight. And he was so fascinated by that was not my life. Like, I mean, watch it when it comes out, but the whole point I'm trying to make is that concept of really needing to lose weight for myself did not come until I had a miscarriage. No matter what my family said, no matter what, the desire from within me. And I developed a lot of behaviors, thought patterns, self-idolizations about my weight in 2015, when, I guess more like 2016, that I just never experienced before. Like, I would see people in my family do fad diets. I'd be like, okay, that's your life, whatever. But it never applied to me. And I did consider weight loss surgery in 2017, just because this concept was so new. I, again, was going through every concept. And I very clearly told, like, it felt like God was like, no. And now it makes sense because of my blood disorder. 6 years of my 20s struggling with weight loss. I know, you like sense me about to cry. Okay, I won't cry. Like, that's time I could never get back. Ever. So on one hand, I'm dealing with, like, oh my gosh, I killed my infant. Like, I'm fat. I had a miscarriage. Then on the other hand, I have this whole new life in LA. I have this whole new life of, I have to fix it so one day I can have kids. And now I have this whole new life of, like, fad diets and misconceptions about food and periods of starving myself and keto and, you know, all these things that work for other people, they just don't work for me. Again, I had a healthier perception of my body before the notice of, hey, you should lose weight. And I think everything happens for a reason, but say I didn't have a blood disorder, I would have much, much, much rather gone through weight loss surgery in 2017. Like, say I prayed about it and God was like, yes, 2.5 years into my own decision that, hey, I do want kids one day, lose weight. I would have much rather done that after 2.5 years than 6. Because for 6 years, these emotions, these feelings that are circulating through my body, the desperation to lose weight because you can't handle the unknowns of your health. I wish I would have done it sooner. So to John's point, yeah, you should consider everything because this is lifelong and you can't undo it. And I do sometimes, I struggle with it more in the beginning. Now it's like once in a blue moon where I'm like, damn, I really can't undo it. And there are complications and there are things that happen. But if it is on your table, don't be scared to do it. Because I look back and I'm like, damn, 4 years ago if I would have had surgery. 4 years before surgery. So what is that, 2017, 2018? I just think about where my body would be, like not physically, but just health-wise. Would I have even had my blood clot? Like, those are now more what ifs. That's a whole nother video. Like, what if I got weight loss surgery sooner? And actually my mentees were like, hey, you should react to the video where you're like, I'm never getting weight loss surgery. And I might, because like this is a real deal. So I'm gonna have to disagree with what John says. I'm really happy you did it naturally, but the way I beat myself up naturally trying to lose weight, I would never want to re-experience that ever. And that's why now, like, my weight kind of feels like my own responsibility again. I'm so much kinder to myself because I never, ever, 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 ever want to live like that again. And if weight loss surgery was a yes and a go 4 years ago, I gladly would have, I mean, now knowing what I know now in my development, I would have done it. But again, everything happens for a reason because I wasn't where I am now with my self-love. So what would that have done to my self-image? So again, everything happens for a reason, but if I could have, would have, prayed about it, whatever, done it sooner, I would have. You're very malnourished, but you're eating like not as much as you're supposed to. It's like this whole thing. So you're losing a lot of weight. And then the moment you start to introduce solids, and I even mean pureed foods, that's weight back added to your body. So it starts this, like, again, psychological thing, even though you still lose weight for sure. 2 moments. Introducing solids back in, that's when weight loss slowed down. It didn't stop, it slowed down. Dealing with hormones. And for me, that's the biggest deal. So I got an IUD in August of last year. So that was 2 months. It was almost 3 months after I got surgery, because I had started bleeding a lot, because when you lose weight, there is fat that's held in, no, there are hormones held in your fat cells. And so when you drop weight, those hormones need somewhere to go. And for me, that looked like bleeding. So I was bleeding a lot, and I got on this IUD, and it was cool. The bleeding stopped. I'm living my life. I go to Europe. I have a good time. So then I noticed, like, my period just kind of went missing in January. And it wasn't in February. I was like, oh my gosh, am I
I hate when that happens. When I lose my period, it's so annoying. I'm sorry.
pregnant? I start the Reddit thing. Can you get pregnant with an IUD? Not the case. I looked for my strings. My ex-partner looked for the strings, weren't there. Found out my IUD went missing, and my doctor informed me that for however long it's been misplaced, it hasn't been effective. So I was like, okay, well, thank God I didn't get pregnant, and all this bad happened, but the good that happened out of this was I had to get completely retested. It was literally a month of going to the guy.
Also, I do want to say, pretty sure you can get pregnant if you have an IUD, especially if you take antibiotics. So ladies out there, if you have an IUD and you're taking antibiotics, start using a condom again, okay?
Please, someone fact check that.
Okay, just until you're done with those antibiotics. Just be careful, all right?
I know, thank God I'm no longer in that phase of life, and I no longer show signs of PCOS. So there was a lot of bad, but it evolved into a lot of good. And then I had the question. I was like, hey, doctor, I had that IUD because I was losing weight. I don't want to start bleeding again. I still have like 100 pounds more I want to lose. And so she's like, well, at first she's like, I'm never putting another one in. And then she's like, I could put another one in if you want. And I was like, no, because I haven't had kids yet. And so I don't want things being messed up. So anywho, I get really, really nervous. And I think I was in denial. This was March. So I was in denial for like 3 months until June, that the reason I had slowed my own weight loss, I was self-sabotaging, was because I was scared to start losing weight again and the bleeding start again. It was really...
This is really interesting because this is something that a lot of people, I think, deal with, but they don't, especially the fact that she noticed it as it was happening is, I think...
It's called anxiety. I'm about to start anxiety medication, so I cannot promise y'all I'll be this introspective in the future, but the reason I'm so self-aware is because I have anxiety about everything, so I overanalyze and overthink everything. But I'm about to get on anxiety meds, so I'll let y'all know how that goes. So it's not that I'm some holier than thou introspective person, it's I'm anxious.
Without having conversations with other people. But I think that this is something that happens a lot. Self-sabotage, especially those of us that have a lot of weight to lose, because for whatever reason, you might be afraid of the life that is in the future if you continue losing weight, or you've...
Real talk, I've been going through that recently. Like I said, ever since this weight gain sucks video, was kind of like cheeky, the title, because I was again losing weight from the weight gain I had. I had a conversation with myself too. It's like, damn, like I'm scared. Like I got scared because I saw the loose skin, and like the loose skin you'll see in the interview like started to irritate me. So I'm like considering surgeries and like all this stuff that I'm like, that's ahead. But if I can self-sabotage and I can just stay where I'm at right now, then I won't have to deal with it yet, and it'll slow down. So it's very real. I'm taking the God route and I'm looking forward, but that's a very real statement.
Maybe you've gotten so, like, I know this sounds weird, but maybe you've gotten so used to failing weight loss that you it's scary thinking about actually doing it, right? You might never have that thought consciously, but a lot of decisions people end up making comes from like, I'm afraid, like I don't know what life will look like. Or a lot of people will come up to me and ask me about loose skin, like I'm afraid of having loose skin. It's because you're afraid of this thing that you've never had before, right? It's fear of the unknown. And I really do think that plays into a lot of people maybe self-sabotaging because they don't know what life will look like. They don't know what they will be doing if they actually lose the weight, because for so many years in their life, they have wanted to lose the weight. So the thought of losing the weight is very scary, right? Like having that weight off and no longer having that goal.
Traumatizing to go that many months consistently bleeding heavily. It ended me in the hospital. I needed 4 bags of blood. Like, it was traumatizing. And so subconsciously, I don't think I like realized that. And I would self-sabotage. So it was back to self-sabotaging, but not in a way of like overeating. And, you know, I would just purposely make sure my weight was just a little bit slower in loss. So I started the year 260. Lent happened. I gave up packaged foods, got down to 250. And then I was like chilling. So then fast forward again, Lent's over, weight shoots back up. I start eating packaged foods again. Again, I can't eat much, but I was eating much more frequently. So weight doesn't really, I say shoots up, but like, you know, when you start eating not good things again, your body adds a little bit of water weight, and that kind of turns into
sodium will definitely help you hold on to some water. So that's probably one of the things that happened there.
To 10 more pounds. And then I went to Texas for 2 weeks, lost weight. And then my family was here a few weeks ago, and then I got up to like 267, and I was like, whoa, like I can't. So I should also mention in the midst of this, 2.5 months ago, I restarted the pill because that bleeding had started again. So 2 months ago, I went to the hospital, and I was having the same bleeding that I had last year that resulted in me needing blood. They were able to tell me that it wasn't as bad, which is great. I did not need a blood transfusion, but I did need something. So what were we going to do? Talk to my doctor about it. She's like, I could put another IUD in. I said, absolutely not. Let's go back to the pill, because that's what they did in the hospital before I got the IUD.
She makes me so sad.
IUD last year, it stopped everything. So I'm on progesterone only right now. And it is horrible. If you've ever been on a birth control, specifically progesterone is the hormone that elevates right before your period. So a lot of those PMS symptoms I live with day to day. The bloating, the hungry, like any PMS symptom you can think of, I pretty much live with it. The bitchiness, like that's kind of my life. And I've had to learn to adjust, because it doesn't just affect me, it affects the people around me if I can't control myself. But the biggest thing outside of emotionally is the physical. The bloating sucks. The bleeding has stopped, which is great, but everything else with it, it's like, you know, this pill is affecting your body. So when my family left and I got up to 267, I was freaking out. And I was not freaking out, oh, because I'm 267. I was like, no, like we're supposed to go the other way. And I had to remind myself that.
So I'm not going to comment on the other stuff because I'm just going to sound like an idiot. So I'm going to leave that alone. But when we're talking about the weight here, I think that, again, that's a very interesting thing, because I think that is one of the most important parts of keeping weight off. Not just losing the weight, because I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, monitor your weight every once in a while when you're losing weight. Of course, duh. But keeping the weight off, it's important to be monitoring it every once in a while. I'm not saying you need to be weighing yourself every day once you have most of the weight off. Like, I wouldn't really recommend that. But it is definitely very, very stupid, in my opinion, to put your head in the ground and just not look at anything and be like, whatever happens, happens. It's like, no, it's important to monitor that, whether it is weighing yourself or looking in the mirror or doing measurements, whatever it might be, just so because
I want to note that what he's saying is so true. So I did put my head in the ground after like my 1 year anniversary. And that's when I noticed, like, I really wasn't weighing myself over the summer. And I was also going through a breakup. So like, I knew I wasn't eating much. And then I decided to take my weight loss seriously because I was very malnourished, because I just wasn't eating because of my breakup. And that's why I ended up in the hospital. This is so important though, because my head was in the ground. I was like, okay, I'll lose weight, whatever, especially now I'm not eating. And I did. Then I went to Texas and I weighed myself when I got home from that trip. So that's like 2 months of not weighing myself. And I had lost weight. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, my head in the ground, it's fine. And then I remember my family being here and I was like, I didn't weigh I don't think I weighed I'm maybe lying, but generally I did not weigh myself. Like every day I weigh myself now just to keep track. Again, he was like, maybe that's not the best idea, and I used to believe that, but someone like me, I'll turn a week into a month to a year. So for me it's better to weigh myself every day, not to regulate myself, but just to be aware. Same thing with food logging. I really want to start food logging again, not to be like, don't have this, don't have that, just to be aware of what I'm consuming, because you may think you're doing better than you're doing. To say that too, like when my family came and they left, I weighed myself again and noticed the extreme weight gain from when they came to visit me, which is normal. You know, family comes, grandma's cooking. I'm not mad. I'm just like, if your head's in the ground and you're like, it's fine, that's how years go by, and you know, you gain 30 pounds. Or when I found out I had PCOS, you guys remember that 2 years ago? It would be 2 years ago next month that I had gained 20 pounds in a month. I wasn't weighing myself every day. I weighed myself at like the beginning of November, and then I weighed myself like the end of November, and I had gained 20 pounds. You guys remember that vlog? I freaked out. I booked a gyno appointment. I was like, oh, I think I have PCOS. Like, so I think it is important to check in with yourself, because even if you're not overweight, because your weight can tell you a lot too. Like if you lose weight rapidly, something could be going on and you're not trying to, or if you gain weight, it's just good to like know. It's good to know. Like I know a lot of people don't have scales in their home, but I do believe it's good to know. Like, you know, sometimes people will like lose a lot of weight and then they had like an underlying issue, like extreme issue. So that's just happened in my family before, and they weren't overweight and they lost a lot of weight and then ended up, you know, having cancer. So it's really important to just be aware, not to police, just see.
If you let it get away from you and then you look at the scale and it's up 30 pounds or something crazy, then it's really easy to be like, oh, well, look at what happened now. Like, what's the point, right? If you instead are like seeing it every once in a while and be like, oh, okay, I'm only up, it's, you know, I'm up 3 pounds, I'm up 5 pounds. Okay, you know what? I really need to rein some things in, right? And it's like just being, and then on top of it, you have to be honest with yourself, which I think is something that she's showing here, right? Which she is in the middle of losing the weight still. But I think that these are all tools that will help her and help anyone that's watching this keep weight off, because you have to be honest with yourself. Like that is, in my opinion, one of, if not the most important thing when it comes to losing weight and especially keeping it off. If you are not honest with yourself, you are not going to have a good time, because it's very, very easy to lie to yourself. It's very, very easy to say, oh, I'm doing everything right, I don't know what's going on. But you know that you're doing XYZ that is not wrong, or that is not right, that is wrong. And you're just like, I don't know, it's so weird. No, you got to be honest with yourself, right? And then I think on top of that, monitoring it in some way every once in a while is a very, very good idea.
Of like the whys of why I'm losing weight. But it brought this feeling up about weight loss and like how it really feels like pre-weight loss, where you can't fall into like old habits of like diet culture. Like I don't want to go that route, and I actually had stopped that route. So I have just been able to kind of go, I started like to snap back in my mind of getting, and before going down the anxiety rabbit hole, I started with my pre-op diet. So I was doing 2 protein shakes a day and 1 meal. And then when I felt comfortable with that and I lost a little bit of that water weight from when my family was here, I then switched to the solids, the phase, I think it's like phase 4. So when you first get solids of, it's supposed to be your forever phase, but the phase 4 of weight loss surgery. So just eating like well, eating smaller portions, etc. So now we're good. Now like I'm losing weight, like I'm back on track. But I say this to be very blunt, that it is still up and down. And I felt so.
That's just life, right? Like this is something that's really, really important. Your weight will always fluctuate for the rest of your life. Even if you're not someone that has weight to lose, if you're just a person that's never had to lose a lot of weight, their weight fluctuates. It might not be as much, right? But like, that's life. My weight fluctuates drastically every day, every week, every month. I'll be up 10 pounds, I'll be down 10 pounds. I'll be up 7 pounds, I'll be down 7 pounds. Like, that is normal. It's important to be okay with that. But again, I think one of the biggest tips and one of the biggest tools that you should have is to understand when maybe it's going a little too far and you're like, okay, it's time to rein some stuff in. Because
perfect example, when my family left, like I want to give you guys the number, because this is what I mean. Like, oh, it's 326 angels. This is exactly what I want to say, because it wasn't that I freaked out about my new weight. Like I said in the video, it's not like, oh my gosh, I saw 267 and freaked out. What it was such a drastic difference from what I was sitting at. So Boom. So I weighed myself on the 13th of August and I was 258. Okay. The next time I weighed myself was the 23rd of August. So 10 days later, I was 265. So that's 7 pounds. Then the 24th, I weighed myself and I was like, I'm 267. So that is now 9 pounds in 11 days. So that's what I mean by a red flag. 9 pounds in 11 days is like an alert. So it's not that I was mad about the 267. I was alerted at the drastic difference.
Because I'm not okay with where I'm at now, right? But it will always fluctuate. Absolutely.
So much. Before I took responsibility for my part, like, you know, because I do eat whatever I want. So before I took responsibility for that, I was blaming it. I was like, oh my gosh, people lose so much weight and it's because they don't have hormonal issues and all this. And like, I felt a lot of resentment for the fact that I was going through hormonal issues. It feels like a push. Like I feel like I have to work 2 times harder to lose weight. That's why you always see me in the gym. That's why I usually eat really well unless I'm out or on vacation. But I was fighting twice as hard to lose the weight.
Yeah, I mean, that's just true. It is harder for some people, right? Like, you could use this.
And I would like to know, that's the part I got my butt chewed out for, because, well, you had surgery. No, I meant with surgery. I said that in the video, but with surgery, I felt like I had to fight hard because, 1, I made the choice not to follow the post-op keto diet, and 2, my hormonal issues. So it just felt like a lot.
This argument, right, and say, well, I see people that have gotten weight loss surgery and it's easier for them and it's not fair for me because I didn't get the surgery or whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if it's easier for someone or harder for someone or whatever, because they're not you, right? So, and she said it herself, she had to take responsibility, and that's my advice to anyone out there that's struggling or feeling like they can't, or they're upset that other people lose weight, or they're like, oh, I have hormonal issues, so it makes it harder for me. Yeah, that sucks. But what do you want them to do about it, right? Like, it's not their fault that you're struggling or you have something that is making it harder for you. Like, that sucks, and I empathize with that. But at the end of the day, if you want to continue losing weight or whatever it is, you got to take that responsibility and be like, okay, well, yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is, right?
So all of this, like, I'm good now. Like, I'm back on track. I've reset my mind. All of this came to a really wonderful question I actually got here. I think I did take a screenshot. Okay.
So it says, is it okay to compliment weight loss with body positivity? Can you do a video on this? I think she's going to read it too, but just in case.
So the question I received on Instagram was, is it okay to compliment weight loss with body positivity? Can you do a video on this? So this is essentially that video. I already planned this video, but that question actually like gave me purpose for this video because I wanted to address like, you know, everything I'm talking about right now. So again, it doesn't matter if it's okay or not. And I think this is like a life lesson for a lot of people. You cannot control what people are going to do. And
Facts.
It's very interesting being in a body positive space, losing weight, because a lot of times it is overlapped. But I think like my life's my life, your life's your life. And I think where the body positivity comes into weight loss is your perception of yourself. Like if I were to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're fat, you're ugly, like things I genuinely don't believe about myself, that's where I would feel body positive comes in. Now we're talking about, well, why are you not being positive toward your body? Why are you not showing your body love? Why are you combating your body? And that's where that conversation comes in. But I do not think weight loss and body positivity go hand in hand. And it's actually it's been a really good journey, I'll say. It's been a very uplifting.
And this is one of the things that's interesting to me because it's like people want to, this is what it means. And when it comes to like body positivity, the way I see it is like it means what you need it to mean for yourself, right? Like I think I'm body positive, and there are people out there that say I'm not because I lost weight, right? Good. Okay, fine. If that's what they want to say, if that's what they want to think, okay, fine. But like I feel that me losing the weight and doing what I have done, I've been body positive.
I don't know if I'm going to explain this better than I did now. I don't know if I like continue to say it better, but meaning like, say we're losing weight, right? Say I'm losing weight and I've lost 20 pounds. To me, the difference in body positivity is looking myself in the mirror every day at that 20 pounds, like you're disgusting. You got 15 pounds to lose, you fat hoe, lose the weight, you're ugly. Compared to, I respect you. I respect your decisions of why you want to lose weight. You are so beautiful today. Even if you never lost another pound, you are worthy now. You are whole now. No more amount of weight you're going to lose is going to make you more of a person than who you are right now. That is what I mean by body positivity. And that's why I feel like they don't overlap. It's like, how do you address yourself? I'm going to restart the camera one more time.
I truly believe that, right? And if you don't believe that, fine. That's fine. But it is what it is. Like, that's fine.
Journey, it's something I will be very blunt about. I was really worried about because it took me until like this year to really understand that relationship between loving my body and losing weight and how they don't overlap and how they're separate. So I was very nervous, but it was something I was going to do anyway. The nerves didn't stop me from, you know, embarking on this journey for my own reasons. I am very grateful for the experience I've had while losing weight in front of the world. I know a lot of peers who haven't had the same experience I have, and to be blunt, I do believe it's because I'm very open about everything I'm saying. I don't try to like appeal to anyone to.
This is 100% true. I agree with this 1,000%. I think the reason that she's had a positive experience, body positive experience, is because there's no hiding, there's no blaming, and taking responsibility, I think, is one of the most important things. A lot of times when people have negative experiences, it's when they are struggling with weight loss and they blame other people, or they disappear and then they come back, and all of that stuff, right? Like, if you are not honest, people aren't stupid. They will be able to tell immediately. So you ain't tricking nobody, and you just make it harder for yourself, right? And so you got to be honest. That is the most important thing. And then obviously, if you are trying to lose weight and you're not losing any weight, people are going to be, you know, jerks. Like, they just are, right? And so obviously seeing results is a part.
You know what's so weird to me though? Y'all really can tell when I lose 10 pounds. There's a picture. You'll see the results in 4 weeks, people 12. I feel like that's such a lie. Like, you guys, I will not get any comments about my weight loss. Period. For weeks. The moment I drop 10 pounds, people are like, oh my gosh, your weight loss. It blows my mind because I don't see it. So I feel like that little meme's like the opposite for me.
Like, I think, personally, I think regardless of how honest you are and like open, if you are not seeing, if results aren't happening, this is why I always tell people, if you want to share a weight loss journey online, be very careful, because regardless of how open you are and honest you are, if you gain a following from losing weight and then you stop losing that weight and then you start gaining it, regardless of how open and honest you are, there will be people that are toxic. It's just, that is going to happen. And so be ready for that, right?
To like sugarcoat. I don't try to like sugarcoat much to like appeal to the communities that I'm in. And I think that's one thing that's made this really easy for myself, because of my transparency and my honesty. I'm able to just like, you know, it comes with blowback when you're not like catering to a community. But I will say, in the long run, over the course of a year and a few months, it's made it a lot easier to be on this journey and to be authentic. Like,
I agree with this. I think a lot of times people will try, and I've talked about this recently, they will try and cater to the most extreme of a group, because they will think about, oh, what are they going to say about this? What are they going to say about that? And it's like, in reality, no one, literally barely anybody is thinking about this, but it's just like the 3% that are on the super edge fringe cases of these body positive groups or whatever it might be that you are trying to appeal to, that people are like, why are you talking? Like, who cares, right? People just do not care.
I feel like the authenticity in this journey has allowed like a real community to be built. So I think it's cool. I think it was a little rough a little bit. You know, I did have some blowback, but overall, because it's just like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, respect it or not, the people who have been really genuinely interested in it have stayed. And we get questions like this, like people who really want to know their role in when they're viewing someone else's life, what's appropriate and what's not. And to answer that question, I'll say, you're allowed to say whatever you want. You're allowed to have whatever opinions you want. I will say, as like a lesson, it doesn't mean all your thoughts need to be typed on a computer. Especially before you type, I want you to think, would you ever say this to someone else's face? Those are really important. But overall, like, this journey has just been so non-linear. And I think you hear that all the time about weight loss. Like, this is not just a straight shot. It's very up, it's very down. But I think the most beautiful thing I've gotten out of this whole journey is like healing actual traumas I've had and becoming a woman who's not based or founded in trauma. Being a woman now who's like cultivating her own ideas, choosing what serves her in life, choosing my own path instead of being a result of things that have happened to me. And I don't know if I would have done that, if I would have started this journey. If I didn't start the weight loss journey and the surgery specifically, I don't know if I would have been able to, and if I did, I don't know how that would have looked, been able to overcome and like relearn all these different areas other than weight loss about myself. So for that,
yeah, I mean, weight loss can be powerful. It can be a catalyst to a lot of change, right? It's not the answer for everything. It's absolutely not, but it can be a catalyst for, you know, big things, which I think is awesome to hear.
And I'm grateful. Like, I literally left the internet for 6 months because it was so emotionally changing, and it forced me to kind of mature a little bit, and I couldn't crutch on food. So like, get to the root of these issues, let's fix them. And I'm still working on them today. And, you know, I'm getting downloads from God about all these answers I still have. So it's not like something that happens overnight. It doesn't happen just for 1 year post-op. It continues to happen. But I think the biggest thing is taking control of that and owning that and using that as a power to propel yourself forward. It's been the most beautiful journey, and this is just a little weight loss update I wanted to give you guys, because I don't see these things being talked about, mainly because people are trying to like protect themselves in the plus community or protect themselves in the body positive community. Like, I'm about my community. I say this all the time, not my whole following is not bigger girls. It just isn't. And the only thing I have to worry about is me. I just so happen to be in these other communities too. But this is my life, and I feel like, you know, we're on the up and up, but I would not be real if I didn't come on here and share that there are struggles too. And I went through a big one this.
I think that's huge, and that's like really, really important, is to be sharing stuff because it's what you want to share and it's what you want to say, not because I'm going to say this because this community is going to like it. I'm going to say certain things because I know that it will be, you know, people will be like, wow, that's so true. Or I really agree with that. Like, I really respect you for saying X, Y, Z, instead of like, I'm going to say this because this is how I'm feeling, period, right? Point blank, period. That's why I'm sharing this. That is something that you don't see a lot. You really don't.
This year, but I can't wait. I can't wait to continue like this journey and see you guys, and life's back together, and with me at focus with God in center, and it's good. So thanks for watching my little weight loss update. I have some fun hauls for you coming up. I have a Good American we're gonna do. What else we have on the calendar? Good American. Oh, the swimsuit. I'm gonna do this because the swimsuit is literally so amazing. Fashion Nova haul, H&M haul. We got a lot. Looking at the board, I got a lot for you guys coming up. And
but with that being said, that's pretty much the entire video. But I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to share my thoughts on this because, again, I really like Stella, and I think that she has a lot of value, and she shares a lot of stuff that maybe a lot of people maybe don't talk about. And so I would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you, John, for your good words. I'm not going to say much else. Only thing I am going to say is John and I do have an interview coming up. We already recorded it. Again, I'm so mortified because, like, I didn't know this video was out nor which direction it was going to go. So, not that he would, but what if John was like, this is crazy, and then I'm in an interview like, oh, we're friends. So, no, we actually have a really good, I don't know how much is going to be cut. It was an hour and a half long, an interview we did. So it is really good. There's a lot I talk about that I did not talk about in this video, and a lot of future plans and just stuff John helps me work through. So it's going to be good. You watch it soon. I think I'm sorry, I have the hiccups. I still think I'm going to do the swim haul in this because this swimsuit's amazing, and Curve Hall's popping now. If you want to be a creator, go to curvehall.com to figure out how to become featured on our site. There's so much good going on. I can't wait to share. But thank you, John, for the kind words, and I will see you guys soon. Love and light. Bye.